You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Y'all already know what it is. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1130 podcast. What's good, everybody doing out there? It is Wednesday. I'm back at it. You know what time it is. It's not 7:30, it's 11:30. It's time for the podcast. Good morning to everyone who's listening to me on EB Radio this morning. For those who came back and watching on YouTube, man, for real, I love new people joining in each and every week. So if you're new to the 1130 podcast, like everyone is, man, hit that subscribe button down below, like, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff. And don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, it's Wednesday. It's time for the podcast. I got an amazing guest coming and joining me this week on the podcast. After last week's episode, we're going to rejuvenate and have some fun here on the podcast. But an awesome guest, like I said, Brandy J. Flynn. She's a mental health specialist, entrepreneur. That's going to be joining me here on the podcast. So it's going to be dope, for real. We're going to chop it up about mental health and everything, you know. We're going to have some fun here on this week's show. But before we do, shout out to my entertaining and great guest that came on last week, Lily. Thank you for coming on the show. But speaking of the show, let's get into it. Brandy, how's it going?
Hey Dre, how are you doing? I'm so excited to be on here today.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. I'm glad you're excited. How's life treating you?
You know, life is good. You know, it's cold. You know, I'm in Memphis. You know, we have 4 seasons in one day. That, you know, life is good. I try to make the best of what I have.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. I'm here in DC. The weather playing a little tricky. So last week it was spring. It was a nice spring, you know. But now it's we slipping out of winter now. So I can't wait for the warm come. So I'm tired of this cold weather.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, Brandy, I appreciate you joining me here on the podcast. But for my listeners and viewers who's joining me this week that's not familiar with you, can you tell everyone about yourself?
Man, I got a lot to say about myself, which a lot of people don't do, but I am a mental health specialist where I have my own private practice doing therapy. I see a lot of athletes and those in the entertainment industry, coaches in my practice, but I also see public figures and also just regular everyday people who want the best with their therapy. I also have a nonprofit, which is called Breaking the Barriers of Mental Health, which is a mental health foundation. I'm an author, which I wrote a book called Not Breaking the Barriers, Lord Jesus, The Balancing Act, and it's a self-help workbook for student athletes. And I am also a business owner called The Beeline, where I sell inspirational product lines, inspirational products. And so much other stuff that I do, but you know, that's not what we're here for.
Okay. That's cool. You've been a mental health specialist for over 10 years, though, right?
Yes, it's almost 20. Actually, it will be 20 this year.
Okay. That is awesome. What started?
Bottom, now I'm here.
Okay. What started the desire, you know, for you to wanted to be a spokeswoman for mental health?
So to tell you the truth, you know how they say I didn't choose this life chose me.
Yeah. Okay.
Has you told me in high school, if you told me in undergrad that I was going to be a therapist, I would have been like, who? Me? Because I wanted to do something totally different. I actually wanted to be in law enforcement.
Okay.
I wanted to be a federal agent. I thought I was that tough girl. I thought I was going to be kicking doors down and, you know, rushing you to the ground and putting handcuffs on you. So, but things didn't work out in my favor. So, of course, when you're in college, you got your degree, you don't know what to do. You go substitute teach. So I was subbing, and a lot of the students will come to me because I was subbing high school and want to talk to me about their problems. And I'm like, why are you coming to me? Don't you got a school counselor? And they was like, Miss Flynn, you know, you understand and this, and that. And so as I'm subbing and I had another job, I saw one of my other classmates. And this is the kicker. I saw one of my college classmates still was still there because I went to school in Mississippi, and she was from Michigan. I was like, why are you still here?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, I'm in grad school, and she told me what program she was in. I was like, well, I was smarter than her, and she in grad school. I know I can do it. So, revamped it and went to school. And, I still wanted the criminal justice aspect to it, but I never could get exactly what I want. And I was just like, well, maybe what I want is the one I'm supposed to have. So once I did that, it just followed the plan that is meant for me. That's all she wrote.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you had a whole plan of being, a policewoman or a detective.
When I tell you I had a plan, I was like, I'm gonna do this. Then I got this for 3 years. No, this for 4 years, and on my third year, I'm gonna submit to the U.S. Marshals and woo
Okay.
woo. I had a plan.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. You gotta have a plan, and life, as we all know, life take you in so many different directions, and different ways though. But you said you wanted to be a cop. What sort of led you on to that though?
Well, you know what? When I was growing up, I wasn't a girly, and I knew that I get bored quickly. So
Okay.
I knew I didn't want to work at a desk job. I knew I didn't want to do the same thing every day. And I don't know, it was just something about law enforcement I wanted to be in. I just felt like I was a tough girl. I mean, I was a tomboy. I tell people I was a tomboy. They like boys. So, but it was just something about it. But then for me not to be girly, I also wanted to be a supermodel. But God did, He stuck my girl at 5'6". So I was just like, well, let me continue this. And I just thought, also like watching the movies like Foxy Brown and stuff like that, and just seeing women police officers and law enforcement, they still had a feminine side, so it'll still be, I can kick your butt
Mm-hmm.
and still give you a kiss. So that's what I looked at. And plus, I didn't want to be a uniform cop for so many years because it was going to be for a few years because I wanted to be a federal agent, but I think it had to be like 25 or whatever like that. So I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and be a police officer for these couple years. And then when it's close enough for me, for the age, I'll go ahead and submit my paperwork. So I can go ahead and be a federal agent. So when I say I had a plan, I had a plan. I just never thought of the what ifs, like, well, what if I never make? Because it never occurred to me that I couldn't finish or whatever like that. So now when I come up with stuff, have plans, I give myself wiggle room. Like if this doesn't work, well, if I can't go this route, I can still go another route and still accomplish the goal. Or sometimes I need to reevaluate, is this goal something that's really meant for me?
Okay. Okay. I dig that. I dig that. Well, since you're an author and mental health specialist, have you ever thought about, trying to go back and see if you still got it?
You
Could
know
do
what? The way the world is now, no.
it? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
When people say that, I'm like, I'm too old now. I'm like, I'm in my 40s. Y'all can have that. I'm not trying to do no PT test. I'm not running after nobody. You know, no, I'm good. And it took me a minute to realize that what I'm doing is okay because I struggle with criminal justice was my first love, and I still have a love for it, but I just had to realize that that wasn't the plan for me. I was able to accomplish the things I need to do. Like I was able to graduate with my degree with honors, but just like everything else just didn't work out. And I realized that like when I tried to get jobs in law enforcement, like in that field, it never worked out. And it took me a while to realize it didn't work out because it was never meant for me to have.
hmm I like that. I really do dig that. I can respect that because hey, look at everybody that I know, or some people, that close to me have been in that same predicament. Myself been in that same predicament where if it's just like, you got this passion or this love for something that you want to do, and it's just things are not clicking and it's not falling in line, and you're like, man, what's going on? Like I'm giving it all I'm giving it my all, my time and energy and everything, but things just not lining out. So I definitely understand where you coming from. And now, like you said, everything is working out for you. You're a mental health specialist. How does mental health plays a factor in your daily life?
You know what? Well, first of all, I make sure that I practice what I preach. And it's funny. I'm gonna give you a real good example.
Okay.
Practice what I preach. So one day I had a client, and she was frustrated, like ready to fight. And I was, I talked her down to, and I said, "What you have to understand, you have zero control of your." I said, "You have zero control of your feelings. You have 50% control of your thoughts." I said, "But you have 100% control of your reaction." Well, after she left, something happened to me personally that I really wanted to react to. And I had to think about what I told her. So I had to implement that in my life. Also, going to therapy myself, I tell people therapy isn't for people that's crazy or whatever like that. It's for you to maintain a balance in your life. We go to the doctor, we're not necessarily sick, we get a physical. Now when we get the physical, we may find some elements that we never would have known if we didn't go. So what do? You take care of the element. It's the same thing, as going to therapy. And, just practice my communication on a daily basis, protecting my boundaries. Like, I do that on a daily basis. And it's hard because I am human, And then I'm also human as a therapist. So it's like a lot of people expect more out of me, but I have to remind people, like, this therapist had to come off. I ain't gotta be a therapist. Like, don't test me now. Because this ain't what you want. But that's how I implement my mental health. Is just every day. Like today, I went on a walk because I'm a firm believer of how mental health and your physical health connect with each other. And just walking, when you go walking and you're having self-talks to yourself, like letting your mind run through it, like that actually helps with your mood, and also getting that natural sunlight. A lot of people like the sun. We need vitamin D, but that sunlight give us that natural vitamin D. It can really help clear your mind. It can also help alter your mood. It can make you feel better. It doesn't fix your mood, but it can make it better.
You're right. You're definitely right about that. And I like how you said, therapy ain't for, people who's, crazy. It's for people, who just trying to maintain a balance within their lifestyle, within their life. And I noticed, in the Black community, I talked about it here numerous of times on the podcast, and how mental health or going to therapy and, as far as in the Black community is so-called looked as weak. Why is that?
I love the Lord. He heard my cry. Let me get that part out. But we have been taught to pray about it, pray it away. We have been taught that if we go to therapy, that means that we don't have faith in God. That mental illness, and I don't really say mental illness a lot, because when you think of mental illness, you think of sickness. So that means, well, I'm not sick, so I don't need to go to the doctor. But we think about mental illness as being the devil. So who wants to deal with that? But I'm glad that churches are making it normal. Not all churches, but a lot of churches are making it normal and saying, and it's sad to say, but letting their parishioners know that it's okay to go to therapy. We think that, going to therapy is what white people do. And what's funny, it's not just Black people that think like this. You have Asian people that think like this, also like other people in other ethnicities. I'm not open to therapy. And you have some white people that are not open to it. They think that this is a rich man's thing to do. You feel like, all you gotta do is just suck it up and it'll go away. Just go to the gym. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, whatever issue that you have, you go exercise. It's gonna be on the treadmill next to you, looking like this. And then when you get through, it's gonna walk out the gym right along with you.
Yeah, You were so right about that. Do you feel like suck it up and cry is another problem that aids to the situation?
Well, I think sucking. I don't think crying is, because to me, crying is like a release. Because because when you crying, it's like, okay, let me just. It's like you're dealing with it, like you acknowledging your facing, you're letting it out. Whereas when you suck it up, you're going to release it eventually, but it's not going to be through tears. It's going to be through anger. It's going to be through retaliation of some form of matter or whatever like that. It's not going to be in a positive manner. So we have to learn how to take a step back and kind of reflect and see what's going on, and also take accountability, because a lot of times when we're dealing with stuff, we always want to pinpoint what other people are doing, but we never want to own why we are feeling the way that we feel it. Mm-hmm. And we become self-destructive when you suck it up.
Okay. I definitely dig that. Because, in the black community, especially far as, a man, the crap part, yeah, I get that, let it all out and release, what's going on with you. But as far as just sucking it up, that's what a lot of, black men or, black people have been told, their whole entire life, whatever they've been going through, it may have been a trauma situation, and it's just suck it up. You're going to be all right, and stuff like that. And I don't think that makes it, no better. I think we all should have someone, whether it's a counselor, whether it's a teacher, or, some people would love it for it to be their own parents that they could, run to and talk to, instead of just sucking it up and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I just want to say to all of your male viewers, black, white, whatever, go to therapy, because men have the highest rate of suicide because men keep held in. I see plenty of men as their therapists, and I see all walks of life from men, from pastors to a rapper to a basketball player to a former drug dealer. Like, a lot of them are in pain, and many of them have sat on my couch and cried, and all I could do was just say nothing, because I wanted to give them that space. I wanted to create a safe place for them, and to let them know that the tissue is right there. But no, you don't have to hide your tears, because men, you guys, we all have it hard, but men have it hard because, again, you've been taught to suck it up, and you've been and not to show emotions. But then that also affects your relationship. That affects your marriages. That affects your relationship with your kids. That affects your friendships. It's been plenty of times I had to tell my male friends, like, if I see a guy that I know that makes, a post that kind of alert. I remember one time I called one of my friends, and he a hardcore, don't do therapy. But I was just like, you need to reach out to your friend. He was like, what? I just like, you just need to reach out to your friend, make sure they are okay. And men have their way to check on each other. Women, we have our way to check on each other. But that's the thing, we need to check on each other, and don't belittle whatever feelings that person may be dealing with.
I dig that. I really dig that. As a counselor, what's some of your, top reasons why men, just decides to just hold it all in instead of just, talking about it?
A lot of them come in about their anger issues, which, of course, when it comes to anger, when you come in for anger issues, is really something else, because anger, what people don't realize, being angry is an emotion. You have the right to be angry. It's not a sin to be angry. But you're angry because you feel something else. But since you're not identifying what you truly feel, you identify with anger. And again, you don't get in trouble because you're angry. You get in trouble because how you release your anger. That's why I tell people it's called anger management for a reason. It's to teach you how to manage your anger. It's not called anger elimination. So that with anger, I have a few that come because they're just dealing with stress, infidelity. I've had some cheaters on the couch talking about how they cheated on their wives and girlfriends. What else? Depression, and just some of them just realize, hey, this ain't how I'm supposed to be living. And let me get especially those my my younger generation clients, especially those that are like public figures, like that's in the entertainment industry, that's like in the sports arena, in the sports game, because they want to make sure that they have a balanced life. Because a lot of times when you're in the spotlight, your personal issues can overtake your professional life. So your career is ruined not because you wasn't a great athlete, but because your personal business overflowed and don't nobody want to deal with you.
I dig it. I definitely dig it though. What's some best ways to handle anxiety, panic attacks, or people who battling and trying to stay tough?
Well, you know what? You have to know what your triggers are. Especially when you're having a panic attack or dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. We have to know what our triggers are, and sometimes we may not know right off the bat. I can't have anxiety, which you anxious because of such and such. Sometimes we may not know. But we have to check out an environment. I tell people, kind of pinpoint when you have the anxiety attack, what's going on in your life for you to have an anxiety attack, because sometimes it could be environmental. Like I had a client, she said every morning she had a panic attack, but the every morning was every morning she had to go to work. So her job was giving her anxiety. Once she left her job, her anxiety attacks was little to none. You got to check the people that's in your life. You also have to look at what you're doing, because sometimes we put ourselves in triggered traumatic situations. It's like some of us we I don't know, some of us get a kick out of it. I don't know. People got strange fetishes, but some people like that. And but something like that, I do say that you should still go to therapy, because I know some people will take medication. That's fine. I'm not a pill pusher, but I'm also not against medication. I'm a firm believer that if you're taking medication, you have to go to therapy. The Xanax ain't gonna make the anxiety go away. It's just gonna give you a little oomph to deal with it, but you still need to go to therapy for you to deal with whatever is causing you anxiety.
Okay. Hey, for everyone who's listening, you heard that, man. With therapy, it's for everyone, man. This is just not just for white people. It's for everyone. So everyone need to get the therapy and try something new for real. You said you also counsel athletes, who get down on their luck. And I was on your website and you were doing an article or on Dak Prescott. You know how he got injured and was trying to come back to sports and stuff. You tell my listeners about that. Like, is it stuff that you really counsel athletes who maybe have a, let's say, a traumatic injury and just trying to figure out where they go next in life?
Yeah, I've done it. I've worked with athletes who are trying to find their place in the game. I've dealt with athletes who may have I don't want to say controversy, but could be a controversy, but I was able to kind of like help them to keep it from being a controversy. And not only with athletes, but also like coaches, strength coordinators, and things like that. Um, but especially with the injuries, because when I deal with athletes, I talk about the what if in the plan B. Meaning, if you don't go to the league, what are you going to do? If you go to the league and you get hurt, what are you going to do? If you go to a league, but it's not the league you want to go to, what are you going to do? You know, you got to have a plan because everybody's son is NBA potential, but everybody's son is not going to the NBA.
Now you're right about that.
You may go to the NFL, you may play 2 years. What you gonna do?
You may just be on the practice squad.
Right. You may never get out. It's just like, I tell people just because you get drafted, don't guarantee you got a spot. Don't mean you're going to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that really helps a lot. And just with, again, their environment, what they're doing when they don't have their jersey on, what they're doing on social media. Lord Jesus, social media. But yeah, so but I have that type of relationship with them that they know I support them, that I'm going to always have their back. But if I need to call them out, I will call them out.
Oh.
I mean, put on their page, but I know how to send you a DM.
Yeah. I feel you. You're like, yeah, you gotta have a backup plan, especially if you're an athlete. Because a lot of guys go in there, having that mindset like, I'm making it to the league, I'm good, and not realizing that it's a small percent of the guys who get drafted actually stay, in the league. So yeah, definitely understand what you're saying. Definitely do. But you guys, man, we having fun here on the 1130 podcast. I have my awesome entrepreneur guest, mental health specialist, Brandy J. Flynn, here on the 1130 podcast this Wednesday, chopping it up. But you guys, now we're going to take a real quick commercial break. And when we come back on the other side, we got the hot seat. We got the WTF moment. We're going to keep talking it up with Brandy, man, for real, here on the podcast. Don't go nowhere. You're listening and you're watching to the 1130 podcast, you dig?
$8 million hands sanitized. 1 million faces protected. 400,000 rail cars disinfected. We're humming right along, keeping you safe when you ride Metro.
Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, 88 Coffee Weaston.
This your boy D.O.E. Good Brother Bowl.
And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man. You tuning in to 1130 podcast. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
Yo, we back here on the 1130 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the quick commercial break. For real, having fun with my awesome guest, Brandy J. Flynn here on the podcast this week, chopping it up about mental health and everything. But before we move on too far, Brandy, do you have kids?
No.
Okay, cool. But are you familiar with postpartum
depression?
Yes. Okay.
Familiar with postpartum depression, and I'm also familiar with postpartum psychosis.
Okay, cool. Well, my fiance is always watching. I'm pretty sure she's in the live chat right now. But she always, have questions that I could ask my guest if she, really down. But she told me to ask, how can I myself be an assistant to her? Because we have a baby boy on the way this August, and she always. Thank you. Thank you. And she always, talk about postpartum and stuff like that. And, I want to make sure I be right there by her side. So, any advice or any, any advice?
Well, first of all, congratulations to your wife. That is a beautiful thing. Oh my God. And you bring in a future king in this world. So, with postpartum depression, well, I pray that she doesn't have it because
Okay, me too.
everybody doesn't get it, and there are various levels of it. I would say give her breaks, you know,
Okay.
because she's going to have a lot of feelings, a lot of hormones, and depending on how she was before she had the pregnancy. So I'm gonna share some things that a lot of people don't discuss about, a lot of doctors don't discuss about.
Okay.
So, and sometimes women, we sometimes if women encounter premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is a form of depression that women get around their uh, menstrual cycle. A lot of people think it's PMS. It's not. It's totally different. It is a form of depression that some women get around their cycles. So usually women who do encounter that, 9 times out of 10, they will encounter postpartum depression when they do have the baby. So I would say just to give her breaks, give her space, give her grace. Let her just constantly remind her that she's a great mom and also remind her that she's a great wife, because a lot of times mothers lose their identity, like, lose themselves, like I'm just a breast pump, I'm just a diaper changer, and she may feel like, well, you get to go on with your life, and I'm a total mess. So yeah,
How
give
so? I don't mean to cut you off. How so? How so? Like,
um because usually mothers are the ones who still have to stay with the baby. You know what I
mhm.
mean? Like, you get to go on with your life, like you probably get to sleep longer, you get to get back and go to work, because her snap back ain't gonna snap right back.
Yeah, I get
You
that. I get that.
and constantly have to go to doctors, to get checkups and take the baby to checkups. And like I said, with the breastfeeding, that can be very draining, especially if she and the baby are not connecting
Mm,
to the breastfeeding. So it could be a lot of mental more than physical. And um, I don't want to say exaggeration, but her perspective may be more intense than what it actually is.
okay. Okay. I can understand that. She definitely talk about that a lot, and I just be like, yo, and she definitely talk about, the breastfeed, the breast pumping and the breastfeeding and how that's, could be painful. And I tell her, like, look here, we've been trying to have a kid for a while. Look here, you beautiful, you the shit. Look here, like, don't let nothing stop you. And I know you may get down at times, but I always try to encourage her, letting her know,
Right.
like, yeah, this is nothing but a blessing. So, you know, I appreciate that. I definitely do. I definitely appreciate that. What keeps you inspired?
Oh, my clients keep me inspired. Um, People that know me, but I don't know them, inspire me. Just people coming to me and just telling me how I have been so helpful with them, because at the end of the day, I'm still like, is it me? Like, I'm really,
Mm.
that is like with my bio that I have. I never forget. I had a kid read my bio. I was going to speak to some children and their parents, and they read my bio. I was like, who is that? And I'm like, fool is you.
Mm.
you know. So, but just knowing that I am truly making a difference in somebody's life, that people are knowing about mental health, and I am part of the reason why that keeps me going. That inspires me to do that, because I truly feel that this is my calling. I feel that this is my gift. I feel that this is my ministry. I've learned that if you're willing to do something for free and give it your all, that's what you're supposed to do. And there
Mm.
has been plenty of times I have done this for free, and I give it my all because I
Mhm.
love what I do.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right about that. So right about that. I like that. I definitely do, because look at it, this ain't this ain't this don't just this ain't easy. and life ain't easy, but I love what I do as far as podcasting. And look, I ain't really getting paid, or I ain't getting paid. So, and people be hitting me up and be like, "Yo, man, I want you to edit this," and I be editing it. And but I'm not the type of person to be like, money hungry and be like, "Okay, yeah, I XYZ and stuff like that." But I always tell people, if you want me to edit it, I'll do it for free the first time. If you enjoy it, you come back and we'll rock with it. So, I'm always definitely like that. And everybody always tell me, or I get the receptions for it. So I always realize this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then it took me a while to find myself, but I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm here. I'm here.
Love what you do, but still get a coin for it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that.
Because you gotta live. We
Yes,
don't.
you do.
We don't. We shouldn't have to struggle.
Yeah, you're right. Right. Shouldn't have to struggle at all. Shouldn't have to. But you guys, man, we're going to move on here on the 1130 podcast. You guys, man, it's time for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes. WTF moment of the week. Each and every week, Brandy, I always share a WTF moment, whether it may be something you heard, saw, seen, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Look, it could be something from your clients or whatever. But you have a WTF. I allow my guests to go first. You have a WTF moment you would like to share?
Oh. Oh, I got so many with my clients. I'm scared to share it. Okay, I can say this without going in depth. I was dealing with a couple, working on them to become better in their relationship, and came to find out one of the couples was lying. No, you know what? I got a better one. I had a client come to me for therapy, and I think we had like a couple sessions and stuff like that. Well, came to find out there was nothing wrong with him. He just came to therapy because he was attracted to me.
How did you feel after that?
I was pissed. I was pissed. One thing I don't play about. I was pissed, and it came out kind of stalkish.
Okay.
I was pissed because this is what I do. I laugh and kiki and stuff like that, but I take what I do seriously. And then for you to create something, just saying you because you like me and you was hoping we can. I don't know what he thought, but it was kind of stalkish.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a WTF moment all the way though. Like
It was. It really, really was.
yeah, I know that would make you feel real uncomfortable. Like, hold up, wait a minute, you ain't coming to this, therapy session no more longer. Like,
yeah. Luckily, they told me, and I'm gonna tell you something. It was somebody in the local entertainment industry, because I was doing. I was a therapist for this improv group. So the thing was I was a therapist for anybody in the improv group who needed therapy. That they can come to me, and I also help like in their meetings and stuff like that. So that's how I was, and it was a couple times, and then he had stopped coming. Then I think like either months or a year later, that's when he told me, and I was like, first of all, why would you even think you would have a chance with me? It was real. It was real stalkish. It was real. It was yeah. So that was a real WTF moment.
Big W, big T, big F right there.
Yeah.
Big
I think
W.
I even said it.
That's
but
wild.
I didn't say
That's a WTF moment all the way, man. Okay. You guys, my WTF moment this week, man, is pretty sad. But once I saw this one, I was like, man, yo, I really, was wondering all about it though. I don't know if you heard the story, Brandy, but over the weekend, at an amusement park in Orlando, Florida, 14-year-old boy fell to his death on a
Last night,
ride.
14-year-old Tyree Simpson fell from the free fall ride at Icon Park. He was here on vacation visiting from Missouri. Now, that ride just opened in December, and now there are questions on whether that ride was safe enough to secure passengers.
We're also hearing from the team's football coach tonight, who describes Tyree as a great kid with a bright future. We have team coverage for you tonight. Chopper 2 is live flying above the park where investigators remain at that scene. We're going to begin with West 2's Kelsey Thorpe on the ground with what we know so far about this incident. Kelsey.
Well, Stu, the ride here has remained closed since this incident happened last night. You can see it's still roped off from people here behind me. Now, investigators with the state were out here earlier inspecting the seats and other parts of the ride. But as you said, it's still unclear how this all happened. One day after tragedy struck Icon Park's freefall ride, many questions still remain about how a 14-year-old boy could have fallen off to his death.
And based on all of our preliminary investigation and information, it appears to be a terrible tragedy, but our investigation is still open.
The victim, identified as 14-year-old Tyree Sampson, was here on vacation from Missouri. The sheriff's office says he and a few friends got on the ride just after 11 p.m. Minutes later, horror.
Sir, tell me exactly what happened.
The ride was going, and during the middle of the ride, the guy just came off.
A video briefly posted to social media captured the terrifying incident and appears to show Sampson falling out of his seat. A spokesperson for the ride says all seats are programmed to lock before the ride starts.
So the harnesses have to lock in, and if they have to lock, or else the ride will not operate. So this is what we're looking into.
The Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs will be the ones to determine what happened. Investigators were already out Friday afternoon examining the ride. The sheriff says their report will determine whether or not criminal charges will be filed.
Our role here is to determine whether or not the death that we're investigating was an accident or not. And so that's what we're in the middle of.
Real sad.
I'm gonna tell you what the real WTF moment about this story is. Was that people, I didn't see it, but people were sharing the video footage of him falling to his death. That's the real WTF moment to that story.
Oh wow. I didn't even hear nothing about that. Oh, I wouldn't even want to see that. I wouldn't want to see that at all though. Like, you know, and you mentioned social media earlier, and especially with the youth now, everybody got to do everything for social media. Got to post this so it can go viral or such. Like, bro, like my man was just on a roller coaster, and you really had to like post that. I would have blocked it, or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't want to see that. All right, you guys, man, I got one more WTF moment for you guys, man. I could not go away in this show like that, man. For real. Sunday night, the Oscars went down, and I'm not a big Oscar fan. I don't really care who wins or whatnot, though. But yo, man, I get on Twitter. Actually, I get on Instagram, and I see a post from my guy Chris Jericho, and he just. People just make memes. That's what social media does, right? And I see something of Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, and I'm like, that's random. That's sort of random. Okay. And he said, man, yeah, Vince McMahon, get on it. Chris Rock versus Will Smith. So then I get on Facebook and a couple of people talking about this, and I'm like, what's really good? And I get on Twitter, and man, everything goes crazy.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Now, my opinion on this video right here, I, dropped it on my Instagram on Monday, and I said, a couple of thoughts on it, though. First of all, I mean, Will Smith, obviously, this episode here with me and Brandy Flynn, mental health. We're talking about that. And early on the show, how she was talking about how, if the anger, especially with men in the world, we build up so much anger and don't want to go to therapy and don't want to do this or that. And where it comes to a point where you're battling something or dealing with something within and you don't have no way to release it. And the only way to release it is going to be through anger, though. So it seemed like Will Smith is going through something way much deeper, though. But the only part, though, that I kind of understood from is the simple fact that he was going up there also, protecting his wife, though. I did not know she had, alopecia, but I mean, hey, look here, I really didn't care. Jada been fine since low down dirty shame, man. For real. Since I was little, I was like, man, Jada is my girl. But I mean, like, Chris Rock is a comedian and that's what he does. But the simple fact is when it blew up, because it was on live television. It's Will Smith, Will Smith, one of the dopest, actors, and he's the executive producer of Bel Air right now. And then you got Chris Rock, who's funny as hell, and like I said, that's a comedian. And he gets up there and smack them from a joke that Chris Rock said, and apparently it wasn't the first time that he said this joke, a joke about, Jada Pinkett Smith and her losing her hair or whatnot. But I was thinking, I was, talking to my fiance, I'm like, bro, like what was the same energy at when August was dogging her out a couple of years ago, and it was the whole entanglement going on, and I like it's so weird, it's really weird. But I do understand, like, he got kids, and I'm pretty sure they're getting older, they're grown now. It ain't the best way to be a representation or show that you're a dad in front of the whole world that's watching on a Sunday night, which really ain't nothing on at the point on TV. But that's not the best way to show it. But at the same time, you don't want no one comedian, actor, regardless of what they are, saying any, foul stuff towards your wife, So, man, like everybody say, man, Chris Rock was looking stuck. He was like, oh, man, yeah, he laughing. Oh, Will about to come up here. He slapped shit out of him, though, for real, though. Like, man, that's all on social media, all over the weekend, Sunday night, Monday. Like, for real, though. Like, I don't know. I don't know, but I know that's a way to kick off WrestleMania. Like, Vince McMahon, add that the night two of WrestleMania that's coming up this week. But for real, man, I want to know all you guys' thoughts here. Brandy said she's gonna fall back on this situation because she said, man, it's just so much. Like, in me personally, like I said, the situation that went down 2 years ago, when she brought him on entanglement, and she's sitting down there telling him everything that what happened and what did not happen, and he's sitting there, crying and bald face, and now he a meme. My man had to take so much, for real. He need therapy. For real, he need Brandy Flint. Look at Brandy. You need to put him in your therapy session, and y'all need to talk about something because it got to be a bigger problem than Chris Rock actually saying what he actually saying, though. That's just my take, for real. That's just my take. I would like to hear what you guys think here on this whole mess, man. For real. A lot of people thought it was fake, and I'm like, I mean, me personally, I'm like, okay, maybe so, but then I saw like the Japanese version where it was unedited, and he was just like, and the lady in the background, Lupita, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I had to get it right with my fiance, right? I didn't want to mess her name up. But yeah, she was just looking like OMG, like WTF. Like everybody was looking though, man. But yeah, man. Like I think Will need some help, man. And despite what despite the fact that he's famous, he's an actor, he's in the limelight, executive producer, won all these awards, he's still a human being. And regardless, he's still gonna go through something, which I'm pretty sure he's going through right now with Jada and the family. So I mean, like we can't just assume that hey, just suck it up and just be Will because you're at the Oscars. You don't have no other choice to be happy. But look like it don't look like it seemed like he was going through a whole lot more than what it was. And Jada didn't, find that joke to be funny. But hey, man, look here, man. I'm just giving my 2 cents on this. But man, that's that, man. That's that. All right, you guys, man. We're gonna move on here on the podcast before we continue the fun going on. program note or reminder or news or whatever, you guys. Next month, you guys, before I take some, paternity leaves to be with my fiance before she had the baby. Next month will be my last month here on EB Radio. I will continue putting out shows on my YouTube channel, the 1130 Podcast YouTube channel. But for the time being, I will see you guys soon on EB Radio. But for the next couple of weeks, we're going to keep rocking it out as we do. But yeah, just want to let everybody know. And make sure you subscribe to the 1130 Podcast and follow the 1130 Podcast on all social media platforms. But we're going to move on, you guys, and continue the fun. It's time, you guys, for the 1130 Podcast Hot Seat. Okay, it's time for the hot seat. Brandy, I got 6 questions for you, and we're going to roll with it. You ready?
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Okay, all right. What are some ways or tips to help a person who may have or had thoughts of suicide?
Oh, if they are having suicide thoughts, because you have to understand having the thoughts and having the plan is not the same thing. Like if they got a plan, you need to go ahead and go straight to 911 to the hospital, residential facility, mental health hospital. But if they're having thoughts, I will be a listening ear for them, but also know how much you can bear, and also refer them to speak to somebody that is more qualified to help them through it.
Okay, cool. I saw this question, and like having you on and mental health specialist, I was like, definitely I'm gonna ask these questions because you see a whole lot of more suicides that's going on in the world, more than homicides and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely. How would you end racism?
How I would end racism is just to continue to treat people as a person and not as a person of whatever their skin color is. But I don't know, the way how we doing interracial marriages and relationships and having interracial kids, racism, we're gonna be multi-race, or multi-race in a minute. So but yeah, I would just say, I would just implement treating the person based on who they are, and not because, you're a black person, you're a white person, you're an Asian person. It's you are this person, and I'm gonna treat you accordingly. That's how I.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. If you had the time on a national stage to help prevent mental illness, what would you say?
If I had the stage to end mental illness, well, can't really end mental illness. You can decrease mental illness, but just kind of like with other physical elements that you have. But I would say that we need to recognize that it's okay to not be okay, and we need to normalize talking about our feelings and talking about going to therapy, and receive it when somebody suggests that we go to therapy.
Okay, cool. All right. What's the weirdest thing a guest has done at your house?
Okay. The weirdest thing, this don't sound crazy, because I don't have a lot of people in my house.
Hey, that's cool.
The weirdest thing a guest, and I'm using the word guest, has done to my house was they tore my blinds down. I had 4 blinds, they tore down 3. And the guest was my mom's dog. And so I have a dog. And my dog, when you have kids, you notice when you have your son, you know your kids. Mm-hmm. You know what they do and they don't do. So when I came home, my dog was looking like, it wasn't me. So I knew it was my mom's dog, and yeah, he tore 3 of my blinds. Why did he do it? I don't know, but that dog was possessed with something. So that's the craziest thing, because I don't allow a lot of people in my home. A lot of people don't know where I stay at. So if you come in my house, you gotta be, yeah, you gotta be A-okay.
Okay. 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 What is the biggest lie people tell themselves?
That they ain't the problem.
That they ain't the problem?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. What does it mean to be sectioned?
What does it mean to be sectioned?
Sectioned. Yes.
I don't know. What does it mean?
It has something to do with mental health, but
Oh.
maybe I'm not pronouncing it right or no, but hey.
Hey, I never claimed to know everything.
Okay.
Got me on there.
Hey, look at, it's all cool. It's all cool. It's all cool. Look at Brandy. I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. Before you go, any shout outs, any questions, anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. You know, you reached out, it's like, hey, can you do the show? And I was just like, yep. So I want to give a shout out to you, and I want to give a shout out to your fiance. I pray that she has a wonderful, beautiful, stress-free pregnancy, and to your future son that's coming into this world.
Thank you.
My shout out to y'all.
I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that when we getting a whole lot of love. So thank you once again, and thank everyone for all the major support. For real, this has been a dope one as it is each and every week, you guys. I thank you, Brandy, for joining me here on the 1130 podcast. You have a social media where people can go follow you at, or you say you're an author, any books, anything,
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at consult Brandy J Flynn. My website is www.brandyjflynnCPS.com, where it has everything about me. Has about my book, has my business, the Beeline, me as a therapist, blogging, podcasting, being me, all of that.
Okay, cool. Well, all the links will be down below, you guys, for everyone who's listening on EB Radio. And for those who are watching, you can scroll down, click the links, man, and for real. And then, have Miss Awesome Brandy Flynn on your platform or such. But this was dope once again. This was really awesome. Brandy, sit tight. We're going to top it up right after the show. But for everyone who's tuning in, thank you guys for watching this episode or listening to this episode this week here on EB Radio and YouTube. Before I head on out of here, you know what time it is. Don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter at the 1130 podcast. Like the 1130 podcast on Facebook, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the 1130 podcast on YouTube. And also, you guys, the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, all new episode this coming Friday, streaming on YouTube at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Central. So that's going to be dope. We're going to be chopping it up with my guy TJ, and also Talk Pro Wrestling with the Commission, my guys Blackheart and Marmalo. We will be live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We're going to be chopping it up about WrestleMania. Big week for all my wrestling fans out there. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really exciting. I'm about to head on out of here, man. I ain't going to keep rambling on and taking you guys' time. But yes, this was dope. Once again, stay blessed, stay safe, give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? Yo, from myself, Dre, aka Dre on Wheels, Brandy J Flynn, thank you so much for coming on the show this week. And yo, man, we out, man.